Welcome back to this month's update, looking into how we can go mobile and build offline reports. We can change our life with more APIs in SAS Via. And again, we have 4 new steps to look at in SAS Studio. Let's go. For the first time ever, we are going mobile. We will be looking at the SAS Visual Analytics App, which is available for iPadOS, iOS and Android, and I will be showing you it on iPadOS. So let's take a look at what's new. Here you can see the app having no content in it currently, and we will start with this left-hand pane. Then we get this pop-up dialog, and as you can see, I have no internet connections. I'm not connected to any SAS Via server at all. We will be working offline and with local data. How awesome is this? So let's select the folder icon and let's search for data on my device. You of course also can access things like your iCloud and your Google Drive and whatever you have connected. I will stick to my downloads folder, where I have downloaded a dataset from Kaggle on how Twitch data is used. Now we can select the columns we are most interested in to help us build up the elements of our report. So of course we're going to select the channel, we will select watch time, we will select how much they have streamed, we will select the average viewers, the followers, and then also if they have mature content and what language they stream in. Let's continue. And now the app is suggesting different elements for us based on the different metrics that we have selected. So if we tab up here, you can see you can easily switch through the different metrics, and we can now simply go in and add these types of metrics to our report, or we can go in and enhance it. So we could change the title here. So let's make this fully English. Watch time in minutes by language, and we can change it from being a different category, so we could switch to channel, or we could change the metric from one of the others. I'm gonna call this good, and let's put that into our report as well. Let's continue scrolling. Good old pie chart, always welcome. And let's switch over. You can also swipe to the stream time. Here, again, I'm interested in how the split is across different languages, and I would also like to know some more information, so let's dig even deeper. What else is in there? This looks very cool to easily grasp how much stream time is available, and here also on adding the context of the followers that a streamer has. So that's very valuable information to me. I want to know the average viewers, and again, let's add it. Average views by language, so we can compare this. And also let's see the average watch time by followers and maturity. So that's if it's NSFW content or not. And let's go to the follower page, where we will again dig deeper, get more suggestions in here, and let's see if we can find one of those awesome diagrams again. Perfect. And finally, we can see the split maturity by language. Let's see if we have a good metric on that in here. So let's see what else we have available. Oh, there is a great summarized page for each different language. So let's add that. Let's go to preview, and here you can now see how the report will look like for you. And we can, of course, it's just adding all our content down below. So let's add a second page in here. And let's move some of those pie chart diagram to our second page. Let's see, are there any more? There we go. Let's also move that to page 2. And I think I only added 2 of them. Yep. Okay. Let's say we are good with our report. We can give it a name and we click save. Now our report is generated for us, and now you can see we get the home view. and we can tap our report, and now we get the ability to interact with the report we just built on our local device. You can, of course, click on those elements, you get a little pop-up information. You can even make those graphics bigger if you want it to be. And you can also do things like share just this graphic to somebody else, or open it up and then start to add some additional context or highlighting for your sharing pleasure. Let's throw that away. And we can also select multiple values, so then you can scroll through this little pop-up window down below. Let's make this small again. And let's go to our second page, where we now can compare our language split, how much people have average views, and we can see English is of course dominating as it's an English website, and same goes for the watch time per language. And we could now go ahead, and if we select the sorting option, we could instead say we want to sort it by language, just so the graph looks a bit different in here. And we could go in and say, okay, let's select multiple values at a time, so we can more easily scroll through and see those directly. And if you're hard of seeing, you can activate a small little tool to easily hover over everything and get all the metrics directly on those elements. So try it out. It's a super neat feature where you can just build up your VA reports with your own data on your local device. No license needed, just have fun with it. Let's move over to our actual Viya environment, where we will once again start things off with SAS Information Catalog, where we have now gained the ability to assign semantic types or even do remediation from the auto-assigned abilities. So here, for example, you can see gender was assigned to this column, and maybe I think actually there's no gender in here. I can go in here and I can remediate it. There is some suggestions for me, or I can even go in here and choose a complete other type. So there you can see the whole list of semantic types that are available to me. I can really dig deep and assign whatever's needed for my use case. So let's leave that. And let's say we have this job status. We want to add a semantic type for this. And let's see what we have in here. Maybe we could do something like department for this. And let's hit OK. And now you can see I get this little edit icon highlighting that this has been changed from somebody like a data owner, and it has now received candidate, as job status might be something that's potentially containing private information. And I also have two generic IDs in here. I want to highlight that this is not the primary ID that people should be used. So let's unassign it. Let's go ahead. And now it has been unassigned, and you can see there is a difference in none and unassigned in here. And now that we have added and contributed our own knowledge, we will approve this data set for others within the company to use. Super handy feature to improve the assets you have within your information catalog. Speaking of information catalog, there is a cool new news for you, and that is that the API endpoint for SAS Information Catalog has been made public, so you can now build on top of SAS Information Catalog, integrate it into your own solutions, and enhance your own use cases, which is super, super awesome. So in here, I just called up the /catalog endpoint, where you can find all the different endpoints underneath, and you can interact with it like you can any other SAS Viya API. And the cool thing here is that you can really dig super, super deep. You can use, for example, the ability to search through the catalog, both with the faceted and the free text or the semantic search through the catalog to find data sets across your data catalog. You can integrate that, for example, into a website, so people can search for the available data assets. You then can, of course, collect all the information from each data asset, also over time to store that meta information somewhere else to track those metrics. You can trigger agent runs so that new metrics are collected. That's a handy feature to use when you are in ETL environments where you change up all the data sets and then you want to have the agent run immediately after. You can also trigger the ad hoc analysis, so that's for a single table to get those information back, and you can basically search for whatever content and interact everything that you can in the UI through the API. Super handy in my opinion, and it's awesome that this has now been made public so you can use it to enhance your applications. Let's switch gear once again and go back into SAS Studio, where this time we again have 4 new steps available to us. Let's go to the steps pane. We have 2 steps in the transform data category, split columns and stack columns. And then we also get a new category, examine data, where we get list data and list table attributes. I have added all 4 steps to a flow already and put it on top of my cars dataset. Let's look at what we got as a result. So the split columns does exactly what it says. It will split up your content in the table based on the values in a column. So here I selected the origin column as my split, and now instead of having 428 rows of data, I now have 428 columns, where each column gets the the postfix of the column and then its value in here. The other way around is when we want to stack columns. In here I'm stacking 2 columns, origin and type. So I get the different cases for each combination, and then I have origin type Asia SUV, and then I get my second case where I have the type sedan. So there you can go through all of your data assets and kind of move them around to fit your use case or find interesting information. The table attribute step allows you to gather all the information about your table and have it available to you as a data set. And you can also print those results into the ODS results output if you want that. Speaking of the results, the list data attribute helps us to get more information about the table. So here you can see the assigned libref that was used as an input. You get information about its engine and where it's located. You get even more information about the whole library. And then we dig even deeper into our specific data set, where you get all the information about that data set, from how much page sizes it has, how big it is, and then into all the different columns in here as well. And then again, we can see the list table attributes here as well. So these are the 4 new steps made available in SAS Studio with this month's release. Let's look at what's also available when it comes to new custom steps. Here we get DQ create QKB reference table. That's a super awesome step if you are enhancing or building on top of the SAS provided QKB, and there is an accompanying communities article that I hope you will check out if you want to do this. And next up we have 3 custom steps related to the Create Expectations Python package, which you can make use of now within your SAS Viya environment to better standardize, understand, and enhance your datasets. So to start us off with is generate expectations suite. Then we can run that suite, and we can also execute business rules on top of that. Those 3 steps work kind of in unison, they build on top of each other. So check them out if that sounds interesting to you. And finally, For our special shoutouts this week, we will start things off with score millions of records in minutes using Python models, Python container scoring optimization, a fascinating read where you can speed up your Python model scoring by 30 times. We have a new cool article on open source data visualization, combining Dash, SWOT, and SAS CTL together, which is a super interesting article showing you how you can build on top of these things. And then I want to recommend a 4-part article series to you using the data-driven content object in SAS Visual Analytics to display product photos. And there it basically takes you from not knowing what data-driven content objects are to building an interesting application to help you enhance your reporting abilities in Visual Analytics. Thank you for tuning in again for this month's update. See you next time. Bye-bye.